About how to set up the environment for programming in C++ and Java. So first we need to install a compiler and a text editor in order to get started. So recall compiler. In the last section we saw that a compiler is a program which helps us in converting our source code to executable code. So we need to install compilers for both C++ and Java and a text editor. A text editor is a software which is used for handling text data. So in our case, we'll be using text editor to write programs, the source code specifically. The source code will then be compiled by the compiler to generate executable code. So few popular text editors are Atom, Sublime Text, Notepad++, Visual Studio Code and many more. And there is also a second option. Optionally, you can also install IDE, Integrated Development Environment, in order to run your programs. Right? So why do we need an IDE? Like if we already have the way of implementing programs by text editor and compiler. So IDE helps us in maintaining large projects. Like suppose if we are working on a project and with time the total amount of files increases, the total number of files with which you are working increases drastically, then it would be cumbersome to manage all those files just by a text editor. Whereas an IDE helps in managing a large chunk of files in a systematic fashion. Second is also a crucial feature, that is it has a debugger. Debugger is an important feature of an IDE which helps us in removing errors from our program. These are those errors which cannot be easily detected or removed just by looking at them. You will get to know more about it once you start to learn in depth. And third one is compiler integration. IDE helps in compiling your source code into executable code without involving the use of commands, which we have to do it in case of text editors. We need to use the command prompt or terminal in order to execute our programs. Few popular integrated development environments are NetBeans, CodeBlocks, Eclipse, Visual Studio and many more. So we'll be looking at NetBeans, the installation of NetBeans IDE. So let us get started. One of your web browsers and search for NetBeans inside the search engine. Search for NetBeans. It will show a link to netbeans.org. But one of the things which is to be noted is that before installing NetBeans, you must have JDK installed onto your machine. JDK refers to Java Development Kit. It is a prerequisite of NetBeans IDE that JDK has to be installed. So before that, search for JDK and open the website of oracle.com. On that website, you could see a hyperlink to JDK. In this case, it is version 11. As of now, it is the latest one. Click on it. Then accept the license agreement. Currently, it is decline license agreement. Click on accept license agreement. Then click on the appropriate version of your Windows, which in my case is x64. It will prompt you to download a file, a setup file. Click on save it. It will start the download, wait for it to complete, and then once the download is finished, you have to install it. In my case, I have already installed JDK, therefore I have cancelled it. The setup is plain and simple, similar to that of other softwares. You just have to open the executable file, then go through the setup, accept the license agreements and finish it. One thing to remember is that the path into which you are installing JDK. Alright, so after installation of JDK, go to that path. Probably it would be inside the C drive if you haven't changed it. Open program files. Instead of that, there would be a Java directory. Open JDK 1.8.0, not the JRE ones. Open JDK, inside of which would be a bin folder. This is the path which you have to set inside the environment variable. Right? This one. Copy it. Once copied to clipboard, go to start. Search for the term variable. There would be an option edit the system environment variables. Open it. On the bottom right corner, click on environment variables, and it has two sections, user variables and system variables. Under the system variables, click on first of all select path and click on edit. So as you can see, this is the list of paths under system variables. You have to add another path where we have just installed our JDK. So as you can see that I have already added this path, but what you have to do is just click on new and paste that particular path in it. Click OK and you are good to go. So as I have already gave the path here, I would be removing this one which I have just added. I have already created a path here inside the environment variable. Click on OK, apply and done. So once JDK is installed, it's time for us to install NetBeans. Go to netbeans.org, head towards doc and supports. It will redirect you to another page and click on download NetBeans IDE. So here also you have different versions of NetBeans: Java SE, Java EE, HTML5, JavaScript, PHP, C, C++, and all version. I would recommend you to go for all. Click on download. The download would automatically start after a moment. NetBeans 8.2, Windows.exe, 220 MBs. Save the file. After saving, we have to follow the same procedure of installation. I have already saved that file, therefore I would directly head towards showing you how to install it. Open up the setup file. In my case, I have already installed the NetBeans IDE. As you can see here, NetBeans is already installed, therefore it is showing everything as installed. But this is also a similar setup where you just have to follow the procedure and click next and install the IDE. In the ending, it will ask you for one option, whether you accept or not to share anonymous user data with the server. It's up to you. If you want to share your anonymous user data, then click on that checkbox or uncheck it. That's it. So by now we have installed Java compiler along with NetBeans IDE. So let us have a look at a basic sample of Java application and check whether Java compiler has installed or not properly. Right? So open the NetBeans IDE. Then you could see menu bar and relevant options. Head over to the file, new project. Under the categories, click on Java application. Next, you have to give the name of the project. Suppose this is a sample project, so I will name it as sample and click on finish. So this would create a new directory for our project, and don't get intimidated by such things. I'm just writing a basic code to print a statement onto the output. If it works, means we have set up the environment correctly. Click on this green button, which will compile and run the program if the compilation is successful. This line you could find it in the video description. Just paste it after this curly bracket and before this curly bracket and click on this green triangle. So as you could see, we can see hello here, which is exactly the same as what the message we have written. If I change it again, hello everyone, and again run it, hello everyone, right? So JDK has been installed appropriately and integrated with our NetBeans IDE. Now it's time for us to install the compiler for C++. So for installing C++ compiler, again open your web browser, open Google, search for MinGW, MINGW. Head over to mingw.org. On this web page, find downloads section, which is on the left hand side of the web page. Now as you can see, MinGW get setup.exe, click on it. This is installation manager for installing G++ compiler, which we will be using for compiling C++ programs. Alright, save it and open it. This is the setup for MinGW. Click on install. Now remember the directory where the MinGW compiler is being installed. Click on continue. Now here I have received an error message. The application is already installed, as I have already installed the MinGW compiler, which in your case wouldn't be shown. So I'm quitting here, but I will let you go through the similar steps which you will encounter. Alright, so when you continue your setup, you will have a window. After this process is being completed, click on continue. Then you will be redirected to another window where you will be shown a list of packages: MinGW developer tools, MinGW32 base, MinGW GCC, ADA, Fortran, G++, Objective-C, and so on. So these are the different programming languages: ADA, Fortran, Objective-C, and such. We are just concerned with G++, but still, right click on those checkboxes and click on mark for installation. Each of the checkboxes, just right click on them and click on mark for installation. After that, onto the menu bar, there would be a tab named installation. Click on installation. A drop down list would be shown and click on apply changes. After you click apply changes, a pop-up would be opened and ask you to confirm that whether or not are you sure. So click on apply when you read whatever the changes are to be installed and whatever the packages you have selected are correct or not. When you click apply, there would be process of installation, right? After the installation procedure, we will do a similar step as we did for JDK. That is, go to C drive, MinGW, bin, and copy this folder path and add it as an environment variable into our system. Go to environment variables. Under the system variable, select path, edit, and go to new and just paste it there, right? As you can see, I have already pasted an environment variable here, so I do not need to do it again. Just for showing you, I am removing it. Alright, so after adding the path variable, click OK, apply, and then done. Again, we will check whether the C++ compiler has been integrated with it or not. You can restart your IDE. Now head over to the menu bar, click on File, New Project. In the categories, search for C++, and the project type, it is just a basic application, so click on C++ application. Click next. Give the project a name, so it is a sample for C++, so sample CPP, and the compiler is already detected, default MinGW. Alright, finish. So as you could see, a new project has been created here. Under the source file, open main.cpp, then include these two lines into the file, hash include iostream and cout hello. I will be including these two lines into the video description. Again, click on the green icon and check whether the program successfully compiles and runs or not. If it compiles appropriately, then we are ready to deploy our programs on NetBeans. So as you can see, the output is hello. If I change the output as hello world, rerun it, I should see it, right? If the installation procedure is successful, then what you have to do is every time just go to a new project and type your program within this region. Alright, as you can see, the output hello world. So let me know if you have any problem in setting up the environment for compiler or NetBeans or whatever. If you have any issues, let me know in the comment section. Thank you.